Hello and welcome to
Gank
Gank
that
That
drink.
Drink, a supernatural drinking game podcast, a supernatural recap podcast, a supernatural drinking podcast.
And an ASMR podcast where we just pour drinks
Yeah.
into microphones.
Yeah. Ooh, so delicious. So delicious. So
Ooh.
tasty. What are you drinking tonight?
Oh my gosh, Krissy. I'm so happy you asked. I am drinking a brand new thing. I don't even think is on the market yet in where we live. I think around the country they might be available in some places, but in Phoenix it's not available yet. So, special sneak peek of Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, the new line
Oh.
of some aguas frescas, kind of like seltzery stuff from Modelo. And this is the sandia, the watermelon flavor I have right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it is
Is it
quite
refreshing?
refreshing. Yeah, it's quite good. I had the limon, no, the pepino limon, so it was like lime and cucumber one, while playing the drinking game for this episode, and it was also quite good. So 2 for 2 so far out
Delicious.
of the variety pack of 4.
That's excellent.
Find it sometime soon in your grocery stores and send us money, Constellation and Modelo. Thanks. All right, cool.
Yeah.
What, Krissy? Who are we? You said what we're doing here.
I
We're
said
ganking and we're drinking,
yes.
watching Supernatural,
Mm-hmm.
drinking games,
Playing along with drinking game
playing all our
rules.
drinking game rules. The two of us, we're comedians and doers of things at the neighborhood comedy theater in downtown
Yep.
Mesa. Still, yes.
That's right.
Okay,
My name is Krissy Lenz.
and I am Nate McWhorter, and that's our intro that someday we will just nail. We used to have a very scripted intro. Now I like our freeform. I'm about it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Cool. Glad we're on the same
Because
page.
it's okay, good. I don't know if we'll ever nail it
No,
completely.
but it's your episode today, Krissy, that we're watching.
It is. It's season 15, episode 14, Last Holiday.
Not the Queen Latifah movie. That's
Not the
not.
Queen
It's not the
Latifah
Queen
movie.
Latifah movie. Okay, just making sure.
No. Do you want to hear the rules? Are you ready to hear the
I am so
rules?
ready for the rules.
Okay. The bunker creaks and breaks. Take a drink. Someone says, language. Take a drink. The bunker beeps, which is different from creaks.
Mm-hmm.
Take a drink. When Mrs. Butters makes a smoothie, take a drink. When she hands them their lunch sacks, take a drink. When Mrs. B calls Jack a monster, take a drink. And when Miss Butters is disappointed, take a drink.
Awesome.
There's not very many rules.
No, but they all hit like fair number of times, at least
It's
in my
true.
counts, and we will go over that at the end.
Yes, we'll go over the counts of how many times the rules got played in this episode at the end. But for now, you got to listen to the recap.
Woo woo recap.
All right. Last holiday. Then. Woo, 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 woo. Cuthbert Sinclair designed the warding that keeps the bunker safe. He was a man of letters, and we know that he was secretly somewhat evil in spite of being mostly good. We are reminded of Abaddon, who was a knight of hell who killed all the men of letters. Billy the Reaper tells us that God is extinguishing galaxies. Castiel tells us that Jack needs to find the occultum and that his soul is back. And so he's going to remember all the bad things that he recently did, including killing Mary Winchester. Please forgive me, he says. And then we're at now.
It's a lot in the then. They cover a lot.
It's mostly just to remind us of stuff that's already happened.
Yeah, because like there's going to be little mentions of each one of those things during this episode, but you could totally watch this episode by itself, and I think would mostly be okay. I guess the Men of Letters stuff would probably get confusing if you'd never
Yeah.
seen Supernatural and you were watching season 15 episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sammy is sitting at the table doing research. Dean comes in an apron. The bunker creaks. Take a drink.
Yup.
He asks if Jack has come out of his room, and no, he's still in his room. His soul is back. He's dealing with everything. He's sad. They might have to find and kill Amara, who is God's sister, aka the Darkness, who we've talked about on this podcast before.
Dean's former lover.
The bunker creaks again and breaks.
Another drink.
Another drink. And Dean is like, come on, Sammy, we fought death. We fought the devil. I killed Hitler. We can handle some old pipes.
Great line.
Great line. They go and they find a grid control, and they see buttons that say reset and standby.
Is this not the exact same grid control from the episode, the Wizard of Oz episode with Charlie that she like plugs in?
No,
I
this
know
is
it's a
obviously
different,
a different
room,
one.
much different room, same prop, different room,
Same prop, different room. Yep, exactly. So Dean is like, what do I do when my computer gets too many pop-ups? I turn it off and turn it back on again. So he hits the reset button.
IT crowd solution.
IT crowd solution. It seems to work. But when he gets to his room with his burger, there's a woman in there folding his Scooby-Doo underpants.
Ah, great. I love it. More Dean Scooby-Doo stuff just always amuses.
Yes, supernatural title card. I can't. I'm not good at making the noises today.
I know.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm not. I don't have the.
I was trying to do Doctor Who theme.
So we come back and the woman is like, how you've lived in this filth is beyond me. They called me Mrs. Butters. She's a wood nymph and she lives in the bunker. She says that she used to take care of the men of letters. She took care of the cooking and the laundry for her boys. They're like, well, we don't want any trouble, so you can just leave. And she gets all upset. Why would she leave? She's been taking care of the bunker and the men of letters since before the war. And they ask her, what year do you think it is? And she says 1958. And they're like, well, it's 2020 and the men of letters are all dead.
And yeah, that's an interesting. It wasn't the for some reason still seeing the year 2020 and just pop up and like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just
it's still a little scary.
Still, and I was like trying to remember. I guess this was mid-season, but I'm trying to remember if this was like they came out with this. This had to have all been written pre-actual pandemic. So
yeah.
Anyway, I was like, oh, it's 2020. I was like, you're all stuck there anyway. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you can't leave the bunker. You need Mrs. Butters.
That's right.
She tells the story of how she was left behind and the men of letters were going to a ceremony and they never returned. So she put herself and the bunker in standby mode. The boys have never really figured out how the bunker works. So she's like, well, I can show you and I can cook for you and I can do holidays for you and I'll take care of you and all this stuff. So suddenly a radar beeps. The bunker beeps. Take a drink.
Beep, 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 beep. Vampire nest. Beep, beep, beep.
It's a vampire nest 50 miles away, and she's even got an address for them. Sam is skeptical, but Dean is very into it. Before they leave, yeah, of course, they let Jack know that Mrs. Butters is making snickerdoodles, and they go to check on the vamps. We have a BM scene in the car. Jack just needs some time and space. Look at me, Dean says. I've been through much worse, and I'm a picture of health. Sammy says ignoring your trauma isn't healthy, and Dean says, sure it is.
It's funny. I just love it. It's a good little chat.
It is. It's cute.
I know. I was like, oh, I actually almost marked it down because I was like, oh, we don't have BM scene on here.
I know we should have. We should have played that rule.
Because there's a few of them for sure.
Yeah, there's more than one. Mrs. Butters goes to Jack and offers him a sandwich.
Oh, a delicious looking sandwich. The food The food props in this episode are wonderful. And actually, usually, whenever they do exaggerated food props, like in the Imaginary Friend episode and stuff, like it always looks great. They always do such a good job. Anyway,
It's like the props department is excited to have something new to do.
yeah, it's not a weapon or broken furniture or something cool.
So Sam and Dean go to find the vamps that they've been sent to hunt. They're drinking like donated blood out of like little pouches,
Mm-hmm.
and they're pouring it into Slurpee cups.
Super cool guys. These guys seem like vamps I'd hang with.
Yeah. They're watching Dark Shadows,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, how come these vampires get to live in a mansion and we live in this shithole?
Because you're drinking the donated blood pouches out of
Yeah.
Slurpee cups.
So Sam and Dean show up, and he's like, hey, are there any bloodsuckers here? And the bloodsuckers brandish their fangs and are both post haste beheaded. Lickety split.
That was easy.
Monster radar rules.
There's no dead ends, no being lied to, just
No
go. Yeah,
research.
no research, just boom, bang, bang, boom.
They get home and it's Christmas. The bunker is decorated for Christmas, and Mrs. Butters has a plate full of cookies, and she's giggling and spinning around in a circle. And Dean says, oh, we are so keeping her.
And of course, Sam is like, ugh. Sam doesn't like
Yeah.
holidays. Well established at this point.
Sam, yeah, it's not. We're not holiday people. He
Yeah,
says.
he's not holiday people. Dean
Yeah,
is. Dean
yeah.
always
Dean
is.
loves a holiday.
Right, but Sam is no fun. Sam. Moose.
So she's making them breakfast the next day, and she says, you ought to enjoy the world that you're fighting for, which I think is the theme of this episode.
Absolutely.
You have to enjoy the world you're fighting for.
Yeah.
So Jack finally comes out, and Mrs. Butters is like, what are you? And Dean says, he's a millennial, but don't hold that against him. He's a good kid. Dean is in a fluffy, like, nightgown.
Like straight up Ebenezer Scrooge style
Mm-hmm.
nightgown with the little ball cap and everything.
The little cap with a little ball on the
Yeah.
end, and he's like, this is great. It's like being surrounded by hugs.
And he's flashing everybody in the kitchen.
Yeah. Jack gets a smoothie.
Hey yo,
And-
take a drink.
They drink. Dean gets a tomato juice.
Watch your cholesterol, Dean.
Yep.
Always with the cholesterol.
The bunker beeps. Take a drink.
Beep, beep.
They run out.
Get some sack lunches.
Yep. Jack and Mrs. B are doing the dishes. He tells her about what happened to Mary. And they have a little BM scene between the two of them. A boy melodrama scene between a wood nymph and a Nephilim.
So this is where this scene, especially when, like, so her reaction to it is so interesting. Obviously, we'll get into, but like, why, if Jack were the bloodthirsty like thing that she thinks he is, why would he just be like openly like, yes, I did this terrible thing and I feel bad about it, and like, what, you know, if he were truly this deceitful, lying, manipulative, I guess that's what she's thinking, is that he's putting it all on it. I don't know. Her whole worldview is very intriguing to me. And how she ends up, like, her motivation for this episode. And I think, like, at the end they try to, I don't know, we'll get into it. We'll continue. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's totally fine.
Kind of talking through it, and then I kind of figured it out, but then also it doesn't make a whole anyway.
Yeah, she swings wildly from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Right.
A couple of different times.
Real quickly, yeah.
Yeah. So we get a nice montage of kicking in doors and holidays. They bust in a room, and then it's Thanksgiving, and they bust into a room and it's Halloween, and they bust into a room and it's 4th of July. They bust into a big door, and we see that Dean has his grenade launcher, and Sam has Mjolnir.
Yeah. It's actually, it was like straight off the Avengers set. Mjolnir.
Yep. Then we're celebrating Sam's birthday. Dean asks for extra Rice Krispies. And then things take a bit of a shift as Jack sort of catches Mrs. Butters dusting something and looking sort of whimsical or wistful. He asks her for a smoothie and he finds a film strip. In it is Cuthbert Sinclair. It's Cuthbert. It's so hard to say that name. Cuthbert Sinclair. It's Cuthbert Sinclair. And he's explaining that Mrs. B is a wood nymph and killed 200 men, killed 200 Nazis before being captured and put into service for the men of letters.
Yeah, so she is basically like the Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And she's just been indentured servitude to the men
Yeah,
of letters.
yeah. That's essentially what this
Um,
video is. She's the Winter Soldier, and we captured her. She's our Manchurian candidate who will
yeah.
kill anything at any moment. Yeah, the Men of Letters
But she also does the
are
dishes.
dirt bags. Yeah, they are. Yeah, she does the dish. She's great. She's great. And they tore her from her home because they're dirt bags. And yeah, I know that even by season 15, we definitely don't like Men of Letters. Yet we still live in this bunker and still
Yeah.
like have some sort of weird fondness for like their legacy. But like
Mm-hmm.
at every single turn, you find out that the Men of Letters are dirtbags.
They are the patriarchy.
Yeah, just straight douches. Like all at
Yeah.
every and like I love I love the device that gets used several times in the bunker, like just as like for an episode of the boys woke something up. Something
Yeah.
has been laying
Oh, something
dormant
happened in the bunker.
in this bunker for half a century at least, has been woken up, and now they got to deal with it. Uh,
Yep. I
it's
love that.
yeah, fun bottle episodes, but I just love it's every couple seasons we get one of these.
Yep. So in the video, Mrs. Butters beheads the Nazi and then says, "Would anyone like tea or cookies?" That night, Sam is going to go on a date with Eileen. Ooh.
Dean
Mrs. Butters fixed Dean's TV.
Dean makes all the I love all the jokes that Dean makes, just
Yeah.
like, and then she says you should be nicer to your brother, which I counted as her being kind of disappointed in Dean. I don't know if
Yeah, me too.
yeah, okay.
I did too. So Jack confronts Mrs. B and she instantly turns on him. "You relished his pain, didn't you, Jack? It was a test to see if he was dangerous. And she thinks that he is dangerous. Sam and Dean keep you here locked up because they're scared of you." She traps him and handcuffs him. She reveals that the smoothies have all been poisoned to make him as weak as a puppy. And she traps him. She says, "I'm protecting my family to make the bunker safe again
Yeah.
and to get rid of all the monsters. Take a drink."
Yeah, she calls him a monster. She makes Trump reference. It's all downhill.
It's very downhill. Dean comes home and he wants to get a sandwich. And she goes, "Here you go. You need your strength so you can kill Jack." And he's like, "What?
Uh?
Oh, we had a good thing going and then you had to go full Nurse Ratched. He's a monster and he killed your mom. Take a drink." She calls him a monster
Mm-hmm.
again. But Dean is trying as hard as he can to talk her out of this. He's like, "How about we go downstairs, we let Jack out, and we forget this whole thing ever happened?" She's like, "Oh, he's infected your mind." And she throws Dean down into the trap as well. Sam comes home, and Mrs. Butters is like, "I have good news and bad news." Sam is immediately, we have a commercial break in there. But Sam is like, immediately gets it, and he's like, "They're both ready to be killed by us because Jack is a monster and Dean has been infected by him." And she's like, "Yes, you get it. Finally, you're the smart one." Dean calls Sam. They love Mrs. Butters, and they're talking about how much they loved her and everything that she's done with them, but they don't know how to kill her.
I thought you were gonna look up how to kill. No, I thought
I
you
thought you
were
were
gonna
gonna
look
look
up
out
how to
how to
kill.
kill her. We were gonna do it, but then it
Yes.
was Boxing Day breakfast.
Best omelet I've ever had.
Yep. There's a little BM scene again between Jack and Dean where he's like, "Look, I'm angry at you and I'm not going to be not going to get over it right away, but I'm also not going to let evil Mary Poppins take you out." Sam confronts Mrs. Butters and she's not mad, she's just disappointed, but she won't give up on Sam cuz he's her favorite. Back in the trap room, Dean smacks the cups with the knife, the magical knife, and they send him flying into a wall. Broken furniture. If we were playing that rule, take a
Mm-hmm.
drink. We're not playing that rule, but if we were. And he uses that reaction to break down the door. Meanwhile, Sam and Miss Butters are talking. Jack is a monster. No, he's not a monster. Mr. Cuthbert taught me that pain can be a wonderful teacher, and she starts pulling out his fingernails. This is the second time this has happened to Sam.
And it's always in Christmas episodes.
It's in Christmas episodes that older women pull out Sam's fingernails. It's
Mm-hmm.
gross, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't like it. Jack and Dean go and push the standby button. She's gone briefly, but she escapes, and she says, "You've all been very bad." Sammy reasons with Mrs.
So
B.
actually, hold on, sorry, Krissy.
Okay,
Dean
go ahead.
smashes the restart button with the hammer,
Mm-hmm.
not the standby button. So like I thought the whole point was they were gonna put her in standby, but he smashes the restart so that like, and I was like trying to think why he would do that, and I was like, I guess so that you could hit then the other button and then she'd be gone for, I don't know. He like literally smashes the other, not the standby. He smashes the restart, the yellow button.
Yeah.
And I was like, why wouldn't he just hit the standby and then she would go away?
Good question.
That's one thing I was really confused about. But then I stopped. I just stopped thinking about it.
Okay.
Got on with it. But I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
point that out. If you go back and watch, he smashes the restart,
Reset.
and the standby is totally left untouched or whatever. Which is why I'm like, so then she kind of, I think maybe they thought that would just shut her down, and
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know, I still don't get, I don't know. I was just miffed by
I
that
don't have
one.
an answer
Yeah,
for you.
no,
Yeah.
I was thoroughly confused.
Yeah. So, but they save the day by just reasoning with her. Sammy is like, Mr. Cuthbert tortured you. They trapped you. You were a prisoner here. And Dean is like, Jack can save the world, and that's what we're here for. We're here to save the world. He's not a
Right.
monster. And
Which,
she
why
just
didn't
like,
he explain that in the first place?
I know, that's all it took.
Right? Is like, oh yeah. No, we know what he is. We know he did this bad thing, but and like totally understand, like get it, but like at the same time, he's the only thing that can help us defeat the big bads that are out there, and that's what we're trying to do. So like, don't lock us up.
Yeah,
But
maybe don't kill him.
she just threw him in there.
Well, but she immediately changes her mind again.
Right.
So, she's obviously not super mentally stable. She needs to go back to the woods.
Yeah.
But she's very sorry. She does want to go back to the woods. The bunker will go back in a standby mode without her. And the boys all just sort of accept this.
Like,
Miss
we don't need to look in that telescope thing. She's like, oh,
Yeah, he says, I looked in there earlier and I didn't see anything. And she goes, that's not good.
right. That's a reference to Chuck deleting worlds.
Mm-hmm. Dean, she says, eat your vegetables. Sam, she says, cut your hair. Jack, she says, save the world. And then she disappears. We get a closing BM scene, boy melodrama scene between Jack and Sam. He says, I'm supposed to kill God and she got me. What am I going to do? Do you really think I can do this? And Sam is like, you're the only one who can do this. It's very Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dean comes in with the birthday cake he made for Jack, which is
Nailed
terrible.
it.
Yeah. And he says, make a wish. And Jack blows out the candles, and that's the end.
That's a fun
And that's
episode.
the last holiday.
Yeah.
It's a holiday episode.
Yeah.
We're doing it for the holidays.
Heck yeah.
What do you think of this episode? Do you like it?
I do like it. I think because you get fun moments with, like, you get good jokes out of Dean, and we get the classic like Dean being super bought into something and obviously leading them down a not good path, and then Sam being wary of it. So you get those classic moments. I like the our villain, which then I'm glad it ended the way it did. Like, They didn't have to kill her. They didn't have to like maim, anything like that. It was, oh yeah, reason and explanation worked everything out.
Yep.
Um, I like the idea. Like one thing I'm bummed about. I'm like, this would have kind of been a cool character to maybe have around for a little bit. I guess like
Yeah, Megan Faye as Mrs.
Megan Faye. Yeah,
Butters.
no, she's awesome. That's the one thing I was kind of just like, oh, like this is a cool. I like the idea of the wood nymph. I was just like very.
Mhm.
I feel like season 15. They're like, all right, what have we not done yet? What lore?
Yeah.
What
Who have we not
creature
explored?
have we not done? Wood nymph. All right, sure. Let's make some stuff up about wood nymphs.
Maybe
Sure,
they
why
can be
not?
domesticated.
Yeah, I would still say the big bad, or not the big bad, but the bad in this episode is actually the men of letters because they're the ones who
Yeah,
tortured her and put her in this position anyway.
I
So
agree.
I say the men of letters are the baddies because they're a bunch of dirtbags, as
I agree.
always.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so but I wouldn't say it's one that's like up there, but it's a fun, especially holiday episode.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay, so how did the rules play out?
bam. All right,
The bunker creaks and breaks. How many did you get?
I got 3 times.
I got 3 times as well. High five.
Yeah, bam. Language, the Steve Rogers rule.
Yep, I
Uh,
got 3.
I got 4.
Oh, okay. You caught one that I didn't
I
catch.
think because like Dean says it when he's in the thing. When he's like, he says, "Dang it, no, damn it, language my ass," or something like that.
Oh yeah, maybe I missed
And
that one.
then I think she says it 3 times. Or there's one time, I think maybe I counted one time where they don't say it, but she like gives him a look. I think that maybe is what I counted.
Oh, okay.
I might have
That
counted
might
the
be the
extra
extra
one.
one.
Yeah.
How many times does the bunker beep with an alarm?
I got 3, but I think it's 4 because I think I forgot one.
I got 3 as well.
Okay. All right. Maybe not. Then 3. How many smoothies did you count?
3.
Me too.
Okay. They're all 3s.
Yeah, for the most part. How many lunch sacks did you count?
5.
Yeah, I got 5.
Okay. Here's the tough one that I think I may have got wrong. How many times does Mrs. B call Jack a monster?
4 times?
4 times.
Sweet.
And then how many times is Mrs. B disappointed?
I got 5.
Oh, I got 3.
Okay, I think I counted a couple extra just as I was like, yeah, she looks disappointed. Or like,
Yeah.
I think when she was like, at the beginning, oh, like and you don't wash your clothes or what, like something like
Mhm.
that. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, she's disappointed they don't wash
When
their
is the last
clothes.
time you celebrated a holiday or she
Yeah,
sniffs them?
yeah,
Washed your
yeah.
clothes.
So I think that's like I counted that little moment and probably another one something like similar. But it was a fun game. I liked it.
All right. Excellent. So now is the time in the episode where we discuss what's next.
Oh my goodness, Krissy. If you want more holiday, if
I
you
do.
want more Sammy getting his fingernails pulled out,
Oh, I know what's
then we're
coming.
going all the way back to season 3, episode 8, A Very Supernatural Christmas.
Season 3, episode 8.
Yep. Now, I will put this in here. I will let you know, Krissy, that I did not come up with the game for this episode.
Oh, okay. Who did?
Abby came up with the game for this episode. My wonderful partner. I was like, hey, like, why don't you take a stat, like, watch the episode and see what you have, because like I'm always coming up with them, but I feel like she watches them with me most of the time, and I was like, it's a Christmas one, it's fun. You should take a
Excellent.
turn at it. So this is the game brought to you by Abby. And
Excellent.
it is a good game. I've already played it, and I will say like it's yeah, it's a lot of fun. So the
Okay.
first rule
Perfect.
is every time we get a flashback, we're taking a drink.
Ooh, there's a lot of
There
those.
are quite a few, and they overlap with our second rule in a couple of times, which is a sentimental dean slash BM scene, aka remember when. So, like, all three of those are kind of like similarly aligned. Um,
Okay.
and the third rule also kind of aligns with the first two a couple times is dad's gonna be home, dad's gonna be here for Christmas, aka the false hope dean rule.
Okay.
Now we're coming to what are going to end up being the heavy hitters. Quote, meadow sweet.
Okay.
We're taking a drink. Rule number 5 is anytime a Christmas song is playing, taking a drink. There's a lot of Italian
Okay.
marks next to that one. We're taking a shot for the basement jump scare.
Okay.
And then anytime the doorbell rings, we're taking a drink.
Okay.
So that's Abby's game, and then I do have one rule I'm gonna add, and this is can just be a sipper because, like I said, a couple of these really hit a lot, and this one I'm sure does too. Anytime we just get a quote, "Merry Christmas," anyone saying it, someone saying just saying "Merry Christmas," take a little sippy sip.
Okay.
So that's Nate's one rule. I will say Abby did not put that one in. That was just me. Um,
Okay.
so that is the season 3, episode 8, "A Very Supernatural Christmas."
Perfect.
And it's a classic. It's a fave. It's way up there. We've taught you and I have talked about doing it for a long time. I think on our first run, we just missed doing it. Right? We've not done it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We've
um,
not done it. We stopped before we got there.
yeah, it's just so good. And we are recording this kind of at the early onset of the holiday season. So, I am just happy to get into the spirit by watching this. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll come out close to
And that's what I
Christmas.
figure. Yeah, this will be released right close to Christmas, so it'll be good to nestle in with the family and watch a very supernatural Christmas.
Oh, I can't wait. Yay. Thank you. Good job. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking around all the way to the end. Hey, if you're here at the end and you want some more, guess what? We've got more for you. We've got a membership that you can hop onto if you go to truestory.fm and go to our show page. There's a little button. You can click to become a member, and for just a few bucks a month, you can get each episode a week early. And you also get some bonus content with each episode, which is pretty cool.
Bonus.
Bonus content. It's just me and Nate talking about stuff
Yeah, stuff.
and talking about our lessons learned for each episode.
Uh-huh.
Where can people find us in real life, Nate?
Oh, they can find us at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona. And to find out when you can find us there, you can go to nctphoenix.com for all the show times and details and ticket info and see pictures of our faces. I think
Yeah.
I think you
See
can
our
see, yeah,
faces.
see our faces. Podcast is a visual medium.
Okay, so thank you so much. And while you're out there in the real world saving people and hunting things, the family business, keep the most excellent. Nope, that's a different one. When you're out there in the world saving people and hunting things, the family business, keep the gank that drank motto in mind. Be excellent to each other and
Party
party
on,
on,
dudes.
dudes. I recorded an episode of Most Excellent today too, so that's why
It's on the brain.
it's an
So what movie did
automatic.
you
I
guys
mean,
talk? What's up next?
Dead Poet Society.
Oh, it's not your fault. Oh wait, that's the other Robin Williams movie. Oh,
That's
My
the
Captain.
Oh, Captain, my
I
Captain.
have
Yep.
wrong sentimental Robin Williams movie.